Welcome to NFL Picks Week 9. Squad did pretty good last week. Me, Pop, Ice, Baller, and Drake had an 8-4 record last week. And Southside Al, Dread, Windhawk, and Yinza Mama had a 7-5 record last week. So we all kind of keeping it close to the vest. And this week is no different. Everybody's kind of keeping it close to the vest. Check out our ticker on the bottom to get the current leaders on the squad. So let's just get it started. Baltimore at Miami. So everybody's going with Baltimore, even though Miami had a good game last week. That's one of the games that surprised me. I did not see that coming against Atlanta. And it's kind of like Atlanta, their MO. They look great some weeks, and then some weeks it's like they're a whole different team. Man.
No doubt. I agree with you there. I was just surprised by Miami. I had not planned to pick them the rest of the year. But because I thought Atlanta was making, as you said, making strides with Penix as quarterback. And their defense at times was looking pretty good, but I have no idea what happened. I don't know what happened. It just was shocking. It was something that I think nobody picked Miami to win again.
Yeah. And I'm checking something here because I want to really make sure that I did this right. Because the next game here we're looking at is Chicago at Cincinnati. Everybody picked Cincinnati except Southside Al, who was on the show last week. And I'm trying to figure out why did Southside Al pick Chicago? But anywho, Cincinnati lost the game against the Jets. Maybe he said if you can't beat the Jets, you can't beat Chicago. I don't know. But everybody except Southside Al is going for Cincinnati. Southside Al is going with Chicago. So he's taking a page out of Windhawk's book. Let's go through this one. The next two, I guess the next three picks, or four I'm looking at, everybody's going Minnesota at Detroit. Everybody's going for Detroit. Minnesota's banged up. Carson Wentz is out for the season, so the young quarterback he's out for the season. So the young quarterback is getting in. Your thoughts on that, man? He's out.
Wow, that's huge because they lost the youngster before. Was McCarthy back now?
He might be coming back. They were holding him off, but they were saying they weren't confident in bringing him back because he wasn't playing well. And that's why they put Carson Wentz in. And then Carson Wentz, his injuries are so bad that he's going to be out for the rest of the year.
Wow. So you need to go ahead right now. I'm telling you right now, go ahead and make that call to Cleveland and bring Shedeur Sanders in.
The Cleveland Clowns aren't smart enough to do that.
But I mean, I don't know. I just think it's horrific for Wentz to go out because this is what he was looking for.
Yeah.
And I hope they don't rush McCarthy back. Sometimes you have no choice. I'm not sure who's the number 3 quarterback after that.
Next thing on tap is Carolina at Green Bay. Everybody's going with Green Bay. Green Bay, it looked like they matured in that Pittsburgh game because they were handling the offense. They forced Pittsburgh into some key mistakes, especially Aaron Rodgers, throwing and overthrowing and getting them out the pocket. But that defense was the one that really impressed me against the Pittsburgh Steelers at Pittsburgh. Your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, Southside, I was wrong, bro. I ain't mad at you. I was wrong. Green Bay did step up. I thought Pittsburgh would step up. So I guess you don't have to put on that apron. But I was surprised by that. But I think to me, Green Bay's more Jekyll and Hyde, right? Every other game or every 2 weeks or every other week. I'm still going to watch them very closely before I get really excited about what they may do in the postseason. But they handle their business in Pittsburgh, so maybe that's something they can build off on. But the jury's still out for me with them.
Yeah, Michael Parsons had an amazing game last night. Next game on tap, everybody picked the Los Angeles Chargers against Tennessee. Tennessee, you got a rookie quarterback. The team's not really that good. They did win one game, I think was gifted to them, but everybody's going with the Los Angeles Chargers, as well as the next game, the Atlanta Falcons against the New England Patriots. Now, everybody's going with the New England Patriots, but this is one of those games that Atlanta will step up and kind of shock teams because how bad they looked last week. This is how they kind of go. I wouldn't be surprised they put Kirk Cousins in and kind of turn this thing around in this particular game. Your thoughts on that?
You wouldn't need Kirk Cousins in this game simply because that New England Patriots are playing hard-nosed football, old school football. Mike Vrabel at the point trying to let people know what's going on as a head coach. They're playing with a lot of anger, a lot of moxie, they're trying to prove things. So you're going to need a difference maker. If you coming out there playing lollygaggy football and not being physical, New England will beat you. It's in Foxborough too as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's at home in Foxborough.
Yeah, nah, yeah. I don't know how Atlanta can come out of Foxborough like that because it's gonna be nasty. And I think it kind of says lately it's been getting a little chilly. So being outside that dome in the comforts of Atlanta, coming to Foxborough might be a problem.
Next game on tap, San Francisco at the New York Giants. Scatterboo out for the season with that horrendous ankle injury. But Pop is going with the New York Giants. I'm going with San Francisco as well, Southside Al. Dredd is going with San Francisco. Windhawks going for the New York Giants. And everybody else, Ice, Baller, and Drake and User Mama were all going for San Francisco. Even though San Francisco's banged up, I think they'll just have enough to beat the New York Giants. And the Giants, they were riding high a few weeks ago when they beat Philadelphia, but Philadelphia smacked them down last week.
Yeah, Scatterboo being out for the rest of the season is going to be very tough. Not sure is McCaffrey still healthy?
Not sure if he's going to be very healthy. He was getting smacked around in that game last week. So I don't know if the quarterback is coming back. They need him desperately because it seemed like Magic Mac is the pixie dust is out. It's
Yeah,
gone.
but I think too though when you look at San Francisco, the one thing they had and they didn't do well at all. They were not moving the ball. They did not give the opportunities to their kicker. So I think if they can do that, minimize what the offense of the Giants is doing, and then moving forward, just getting enough for the kicker because the kicker is capable of kicking 5 to 6 field goals to allow them to will allow them to win a low scoring game. So that's why I chose San Francisco.
And San Francisco couldn't get the defense off the field in that Houston game. That really shocked me that they couldn't get Houston offense off the field, and that defense got worn down throughout that whole game. Next game on tap is Indianapolis at Pittsburgh. Now, Indianapolis is number one in the AFC. They're riding high. Papa's going with Indianapolis. I'm going to go with Pittsburgh at home on this one. I'm going to go with Pittsburgh at home for the simple fact that Pittsburgh rarely drops two in a row, especially at home. And so I know that Southside Al's going with Indianapolis. Dread, Windhawk, you're going with Indianapolis. Baller's going with Indianapolis. Me, Drake, and User Mama are going with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that's her team, so she's going to roll with them against the AFC top contender at this particular point. Indianapolis is looking good, man. I can't deny it, but at home in Pittsburgh, I think they had a sour taste in their mouth after losing that game last week against Green Bay, and I can see them coming back with that defense playing nasty next week.
I thought the same thing last week. It didn't
Yeah,
happen.
yeah, it didn't happen.
Indianapolis is showing you they are for real. I'm not saying they're gonna win the Super Bowl, but I think they're playing with a chip on their shoulder as well. What better way to show that they are a power in the AFC by taking down mighty Pittsburgh, right? You get that done. Question is, can Pittsburgh match? Is it? We don't know if their defense is gonna show up, right? First thing about is the offense, but then they've been able to move the ball a little bit more, but the defense is going to show up. And we have to ask yourself, the question is this the Jonathan Taylor week? Because if he could, I mean, if he's hot, hey, it's a wrap. And they had some great movement at wide receivers, so they include more people as far as wide receivers are concerned. It could be a problem for Pittsburgh because if the Pittsburgh defense does not show up like you said, and let's say that Indianapolis scored 30 points, can Pittsburgh match them?
Yeah, and I don't trust Aaron Rodgers throwing the long ball. It seems like he's just floating up the long balls, and folks are getting under him. So it kind of reminds me of Drew Brees late in his career. He couldn't get the ball down 20 yards down the field with accuracy. Rodgers is looking the same way. Next game on tap is, and this is going to be an interesting game, Denver at Houston. Pop is going with Denver. I'm going with Denver. Southside Sal's going with Denver. Dredd is going with Houston. Windhawk is going with Houston, and everybody else, Ice, Baller, Drake, Yinder Mama, going with Denver. Can Denver win 3 in a row and this one away from home?
That's a tough one. The question is, though, are the real Houston Texans going to show up next week? And Denver's been playing lights out, nasty football. They got it done. Thought they were going to lose that game this past week. They got it done, and they're playing with a chip on their shoulder. They're very physical. So I know they're going to be coming hard and strong after CJ Stroud. And can you run that back like you did this time? He had over 300 yards pass, I think 2 touchdowns.
Hmm.
Can you get that off on Denver? Denver's playing real physical. I think they're going to come off out that way the same way, attack him. And then the question is, can the Houston Texans defense step up and control that running game? They had everybody running for Denver. They had all kind of folks running. They had back J.K. Dobbins was
Yeah.
running
Yeah.
strong. I mean, so they're using anybody that's available and has the ability to have the talent to be on that field. And I'm not really the biggest fan of their coach. I think he's either getting lucky or somebody just gifted him because those players are playing their butts off for him right now.
All right. Next game on tap. Both of these teams, I believe, are coming off a bye. You have Jacksonville at Las Vegas. And me and Papa going with Las Vegas. Southside Sal going with Jacksonville. Dredd and Windhawk going for Las Vegas. Ice, Baller, Drake, Yenzimama going for Jacksonville. Explain this one.
Man, look, I tried to go with the Raiders. I've been watching the Raiders. I have not seen anything out of them. Anything. You got Ashton Jeffrey, right? The running back. Geno Smith has been struggling a lot. I don't know. I don't see them doing anything. And Jacksonville, at times, rises to the occasion. And I think they'll get this one. Because I just don't, there's no consistency with the Raiders. And I think this is a perfect game for Jacksonville to get healthier and well and have a game. As long as it's not overseas for Jacksonville, I think they're good. Where the West is might as well be overseas, but I think they come out with the victory.
Okay.
I think they do.
Next game on tap is New Orleans at the Los Angeles Rams. Everybody's going with the Rams except Dredd. He's going with New Orleans. He seems to like New Orleans because he's been picking them a lot. So I'm gonna leave.
He must have had a good vacation down
there. He must have had a good vacation in New Orleans. I know somebody in New Orleans, or I got scratched on the butt with a chicken foot. Something's happening with him in New Orleans. I don't know. I'll talk to him later this week. Scratch. Next game on tap. This should be a good one. Kansas City at Buffalo. Pop is going with Kansas City. I'm going with Buffalo. Southside Al's going with Buffalo. Dredd is going with Buffalo. Windhawk and Ice are going with Kansas City. Baller's going with Buffalo. Yenzimama's going with Buffalo, and Drake is going with Kansas City. So this is a toss-up with this one. And this is going to be either separate us or it's going to, separate a whole lot of people. But I got to think that Buffalo kind of turned it around. And even though Kansas City is looking good and everybody's healthy, this is a game that they got something to prove. And to get over this Mahomes and Kelsey and Kansas City Chiefs kind of monkey on their back to get back to the AFC Championship.
That sounds good. That was a beautiful soliloquy that you just laid out.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
But the reality of it is, when it matters, Buffalo will let you down.
Yeah.
And normally at home, I probably would have chosen Buffalo a couple weeks ago. But they're back. Worthy's back. The wide receivers are back, which opens the door for Kelsey to be like the fifth option. So he didn't have to think about his girlfriend for a fiance for a while and didn't want to play in the second half. I just think that by listening to Mahomes and the way he was talking, and when they started to get their everything back in order and getting people healthy, that he's really excited about it. And I think they're going to go in there and they're going to slam Buffalo just because. And I think they know they owe Buffalo. One of the last few times they owe them to show them who's in charge. And I think they're back. So I'm going with Mahomes and the crew. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, but I think Mahomes is going to outdo Allen like he's done for so long, for so many times. And Allen, like I told you, the one thing he has down is that proverbial handshake. Damn, again. That's what he's going to have one more time. So might as well get your hand ready, bro. Go and shake that man's hand. Take another L.
Should be a marquee game on Sunday night or Sunday afternoon. Pardon me. Next game on tap is Seattle at Washington. And since the Chunky Soup kind of curse got my boy Daniels, I just can't go with him. right, at this particular point. So everybody's going with Seattle in that particular game. That's going to be the Sunday night game, even though Seattle's playing on the road. I thought about them being on the road, coming from the West Coast, coming to the East Coast, but Jalen Daniels, Mariota is a good backup, but I don't know if he can handle Seattle's defense at this particular point. Last game on tap is Arizona at Dallas, and everybody's going with the Dallas Cowboys and rolling with those boys, except Southside Al. He's going with the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh well, Al, and like I said, I don't know if I chose Dallas maybe just once this year, maybe once, twice, but I just don't see them losing this. Well, just by the way that they lost to Denver, they need to get this back. And if it's fixed, like some people said, Dallas should win this game. They lost to Denver the way that they did. They come back home. They'll probably let the little man look real good for Arizona, but I think they'll find a way to win because I think Denver was just too physical and too tough for them.
Yeah.
So they couldn't get it done when it mattered. So I think they will win this game because I think CeeDee Lamb's feeling better. A lot of people are more healthier and they can move the ball offensively, and that could probably have a premier game.
Even though I picked the Dallas Cowboys, their offense got shut down a little bit by Denver yesterday. They have a high-power offense, but that defense can't stop anybody. So if they let Arizona get hot, it could be an upset on Monday night with the Arizona Cardinals beating the Dallas Cowboys in their home stadium. Those are our picks. Check us out on Facebook for our updates on our picks and who's on the leaderboard.